In 2023, it was the Oakland A's being the worst team in baseball. In 2024, it was the Chicago White Sox being the worst team in baseball. In 2025, it's still the Chicago White Sox, but now also the Colorado Rockies. Not that the Rockies weren't bad before, but things have been taken to a whole new level this year. For years now, and really for the vast majority of this team's existence, the Rockies have just kind of done that, existed. They've been bad, but think of them like most bad movies. You know they're bad, but you don't talk much about them because, like, who cares? Then there's a movie like The Room where it's so bad that you have to see it and talk about it, which is what the Rockies are becoming as a baseball team, if you want to even call them that anymore. A franchise that actually seems like it may be run by Tommy Wiseau at this point. Pitching at Coors Field in Colorado is already a death wish to begin with, whether you're good or not. Even when the Rockies have been good, like the 3 times they've been good ever, the pitching staff hasn't been insanely elite, and it's more than likely going to be a bottom tier pitching staff relative to the rest of the league. It just is what it is. But pitching in a place like Colorado while being bad to begin with is like being this guy. I mean, just disadvantage after disadvantage in life, you're screwed. Really quick, if you're part of the 51% of viewers not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button if you enjoy the videos, as the Rockies have by far the worst ERA in all of baseball so far this year. But since they're in such a hitter-friendly ballpark, surely they're benefiting from this too, right? The Rockies are pretty much just as bad of an offense as they do pitching. Everyone is embracing the suck this year. Now, a lot of people like to blame the owner, and in many cases, it's valid to do that. But not really here, at least not most of the blame. Their owner, Dick Monfort, what's with these names? Okay, we got Bob Nutting in Pittsburgh, Dick Monfort in Colorado. Who's next? Ben Dover, Hardcock buying the Rays? As long as it's not Mo Lester, I guess. Anyway, what makes Dick so unique is he'll actually answer emails from fans who send them in. Seriously, he's very open to hearing what the fans have to say, which of course is great, although it has led to some problems. Over 10 years ago, he got mad at a fan complaining that the team was bad, and Dick responded by saying, "By the way you talk, maybe Denver doesn't deserve a franchise. Maybe time for it to find a new home. Thanks." Mentioning the possibility of moving the team, yeah, I feel like Dick sending a dick pic would have been better than that. After this, he released a whole apology pleading that leaving Denver has never been an option, never will be, yada yada yada. And also later clarified what he meant in that email was that maybe we as owners don't deserve a franchise.
Right.
Another fan filled out a comment card at Coors Field as he was leaving the ballpark one night and expressed how upset he was with the team, to which Monfort replied, "If product and experience that bad, don't come." You don't say, Dick.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Then there was another reported exchange between him and another fan who emailed Dick complaining that the Rockies charge major league prices for a AAA team, and Dick emailed back saying, "If it is that upsetting, don't come to the games. If I don't like a restaurant because of the food or prices, I just don't go. Colorado Springs has a different experience. Maybe that would be more enjoyable." Colorado Springs is where their actual AAA team is. Now, this was 10 years ago, and the Rockies did have a couple good teams after this, only to fall right back into irrelevancy, and with Dick, he's still answering those emails, and they've only gotten funnier. When Ohtani was in his last year with the Angels, a fan asked if they could trade for Ohtani, and he said he is a free agent at end of the year, but would be fun for a couple months, sent from my iPad. I love that he talks as if the fan didn't already know that, which honestly may have been the case considering this next email from another fan asking about Juan Soto. This fan emailed Dick saying that Soto is expected to get 14 to 15 years with a $43 million AAV, and that signing him would catapult the Rockies into a playoff position. Okay, first off, the fact that if this isn't satire, the fact that this fan thought adding Soto would instantly make the Rockies a playoff team needs to realize this isn't basketball. Second, the fan said Soto is expected to get around 14 to 15 years with $43 million a year, which yes, is a lot of money, but it is wild to think how in hindsight that wouldn't have even been a serious offer. $43 million a year for 15 years is $645 million. Soto practically got $800 million for 16 years. Anyway, Dick responded to this fan by saying, "He has said publicly he wants to stay on East Coast," sent from my iPhone. I love how that's the reason he gives. Not that Soto is going to cost unfathomable amounts of money, or he doesn't fit the team, or where we are right now as a franchise trying to rebuild. No, he said he prefers to stay on the East Coast. That's the reason. I haven't even talked to him, but that's why. Dick is one of the seemingly many owners in favor of a salary cap in MLB. He's gone on the record saying the only way to fix baseball is to have a salary cap and floor. That's the only way to stop the Dodgers and Yankees and Mets and teams like that. And yes, those teams have abilities to spend that others don't. But who's going to tell them that those same teams have developed a strong foundation to get to the point that they're at? When you don't draft or develop well, it makes competing tough. The Rockies don't do either thing well at all, which makes sense when you see they're a team that's been losing for over half a decade now, and for most of their entire existence, meaning they've been getting higher draft picks along the way, yet they've been getting worse. The fall off of Chris Bryant needs to be studied for years to come. Holy crap. The one big name free agent the Rockies go out and get cannot have turned out any worse. Bryant went from the prodigy of Chicago, his face on billboards, almost instantly bringing the Cubs their first championship in over 100 years, while he wins the MVP award and is one of baseball's top hitters and overall players for years. He goes from all of that to a non-existent Rocky. He's either been hurt or awful. It's very depressing, and he even admitted a year ago that him signing with the Rockies had a lot to do with him feeling the pressure to sign somewhere since he didn't have a team when spring training began after the lockout. Other teams were involved, but he didn't want to wait around, saying he should have done a little more research into the Rockies prospects. AKA, this team sucks, has always sucked. I signed with them because it was the best contract I could get at that time without waiting too long and risking anything, and now I'm stuck. Help me. Bryant went on to play 34 games last year, arrived to spring training in 2025 only to get smoked first thing in a practice at bat, and he's only played 11 games so far this year, having to go back on the injured list with lumbar degenerative disc disease, a chronic condition that makes himself unavailable to move in the morning at times. It's that bad. So to sum it up, this has been a wonderful contract for the Rockies. They started off this season 7-32. 7-32. It's tied for the worst start ever, and a day after losing 21-0 to the Padres. 21-0. Of course, this team wins because baseball is more bipolar than Mel Gibson. You never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. A broken clock is right more than usual in baseball, but they have fired their manager, Bud Black, and plan to replace him with Coors White. Does that do anything to better the team? No, nothing will, and seemingly for a long, long time. Sadly, all the Rockies have turned into is a joke, and hey, that's better than being irrelevant, I guess. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.